Well, Gaffer, congratulations, a new contract. That takes you up to about 50 years at Peterborough United, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a spell now. I don't know how many years it'll be, but yeah, I'm delighted. You know, obviously, I was coming out of my contract in the summer, but you know, the chairman and I spoke the summer just gone and said we'd get it done whenever it was convenient, really, in terms of whenever we had time. So, thankfully, that's what's happened. Him and Jason and Randy have obviously offered me the contract, delighted to sign it, and yeah, hopefully we can have more success.
Yeah, you've signed multiple contracts in your time at the football club, but right now, as we are, it's quite an exciting time, isn't it? Obviously, in the Championship, ground coming, you know, youth coming through, it ticks every box for you.
It does. I mean, my aim was always to get back in the Championship, and I think that's the attraction really of this football club. The aim's always to do that, and it doesn't always happen, but thankfully it did last season. And now the aim is to really build on that and become, if we can, an established Championship team. I do feel the hardest year is the first year, and that is proven the case. But we just have to make sure that if we can, we're obviously in the Championship next season. That's the plan for everyone at the football club. And the club's building. There's growth in it. There's potential in it. With all the different things that we're hearing about, new stadiums, obviously the training ground's getting developed. We've continued our philosophy of, you know, bringing in younger players, trying to develop them, and I think you've seen that, good examples of that over the last couple of years, you know.
Yeah, because when any manager signs a contract, it's got to be, you know, the ambition of the club has to match your ambitions, because you're obviously a very ambitious manager. So to be in your position at coming up to the big 5-0, I didn't want to say that out loud. It must be one of those things whereby you have to consider everything, because ultimately, you know, there's options out there.
Yeah, I think. Look, I'm very ambitious, as you know, and you're absolutely correct. Everything has to match. You know, I have to match what the club want out of the manager, in terms of how I develop players, and I've got to buy into the growth in the youth department, and try and play an attractive brand of football if we can, and you know, make us exciting to watch. Put value on the assets we've got, or increase the value on the assets we've got. I think that's important as well, but ultimately bring success on the pitch. So, and for me, it's got to be, I have to, you know, see the continuation of the ambition of the football club, but you know, I think we completely match on that. And you know, like I say, the chairman mentioned it to me in the summer. We didn't mention it again until last week. It was probably the easiest contract both of us have done, in terms of couple of emails exchanged. There was no one else involved in it, and it was done.
Yeah, and from the players' perspective as well, with Mark Robson leaving, Matthew Edmonds stepping up, they're probably looking and thinking, okay, I wonder what's going to happen there. But stability obviously is something that they would crave as well, and the fact that obviously you've committed long term, and obviously Matthew stepped up into the under 20 from the under 23s, where he was obviously interacting with the first team squad anyway. There's still continuity there.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it the sort of the step up easier for Matt, because we have integrated him into the first team quite a bit this season and last season, you know, and he was involved heavily last season in terms of, you know, he was doing sessions with the smaller groups, the under 23s and all the rest of it. So it's not as if it's just new to him. He knows how we work. He's a very good coach, and I like his manner. He's got good ideas, well organised. So obviously when Mark decided to leave, you know, for reasons that I fully understood, I had to think. My next move was having to think about who I would bring in or who would step up, and at the moment I'm more than happy just to keep it in house. Spoke to Kieran Scarf obviously about how it would work with him, and he said it would just be, you know, Simon stepping up, Jamal stepping up, and I think we've had a good couple of meetings about it, and it's just a case of, the good thing about it here is with the staff and how I try to heavily involve them. We just all muck in and we get on with it, you know, and so I'm not looking outside to do anything at the moment, you know, and at the moment I'm not thinking of anything else but carry on and where we are and see how it goes.
Two players fitted the model that this football club has had over the time that you've been involved in the football club. It's the signings of Kai Corbett and Joe Taylor, and two young players who obviously have got bright futures ahead, and with this 23s group that you have, it's a wonderful way that they can integrate fully into what you want from them.
Yeah, with the 23 groups is looking good. You know, we've got some good ones in there. Excited about these two. Obviously Kai I've worked with a little bit more than Joe, because you know, Joe's a young lad that, you know, was on the chairman's radar and would move quickly to get that sorted. He was just up the road, Kings Lynn. He's been scoring goals. He's got some really good attributes. He's been doing a bit of fitness work, but seems a lovely lad. So, you know, it's just a case of sort of going a bit slower with him because he needs to get up to speed, which is understandable for where he's come from. Whereas Kai, you know, he looks good. He looks technically very good. He's sharp. His movement's very good. Good kid. Yeah, I like him. You know, I think both of them are going to be good signings. We don't want to rush them and expect too much of them because that can, you know, have a detriment on them. So I think we just go slow with them and see how they do. But definitely, it fits to what we're trying to do here, in terms of, again, bringing a couple of strikers in like we do. And now we've got to develop them and be patient with them and see how they get on.